This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus back from the Black Thoughts, and this is kind of a follow-up to the Joe Biden stuff. I did a video where I talked about how I felt about Joe Biden and the allegations and things like that. Since then, of course, it's come out that he did an event where he cracked a couple of jokes. They weren't totally bad, but they were kind of tacky. Just on a side note, don't fucking make light of the situation after people are like already kind of hostile. At least to me, read the room, know that people are going to look at this, especially in this like extremely hyper reactive era that we are, where everything you say and do will be responded immediately, and in sometimes to a higher degree than necessary. Like, I'm not saying that I have no problem with him making those jokes. I do think that it's kind of like tasteless, but it's like, for me, it ends there. It's like, yo, you shouldn't have did that, bruh. Like, just chill and let that shit go away. If you have any real hopes and aspirations to be president, you don't want to make smoke for yourself, and this ain't helping you. But for some, it's just gonna be like, oh my god, he doesn't get it, he never will get it, he's a horrible person, and it's gonna be bad for him. And you know what? It's smoke that he probably deserves, because he didn't have to bring that smoke to himself. Read the rooms, people. Like, always read the room. I think, again, he's an older gentleman, so he may not be able to adjust as quickly as some of us are, but you gotta be careful, like, what you put out there these days, like, seriously, because people will take it, and the hyperbole will just fucking run wild on your ass. Anyway, but that leads me to the subject at hand, which is, don't be the victim of your own transgressions. More importantly, don't try to make yourself out to be a victim when you do something in which you're being accused. I hate that. I really hate when people try to go the like, I didn't mean no harm route to an extreme level. It's one thing to say that you didn't mean no harm. Understandable. But to lean into it and try to be like, well, why y'all looking at me? I'm just being me. I feel like I'm being persecuted. Like, in some cases, I can understand. But in a lot of cases, I feel like people don't necessarily realize that you're only making things worse, especially in situations in which there is a level of doubt to your behavior or your actions. Speaking of the Joe Biden thing, again, he's a very touchy-feely person, so the way that people can view his actions, to me at least, are understandable. That being said, I don't think that he had any ill intent, he doesn't necessarily need to like throw arms in the air and be up in arms about the whole situation. Again, the video that he did where he was like, I get it, things are different and I need not to be that way, that's fine. And I don't think, for the record, I don't think he's doing the whole woe is me thing, but we've seen it happen recently, especially with the R. Kelly thing, where he threw his whole fit on the interview with Gayle King, talking about, I can't do this, I can't do that, y'all killing me, blah, 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 blah. Bruh, you ain't helping yourself when you do shit like that. Like, when you start to go on these super, like, heavy attack mode. It's one thing to say I didn't do it, and I stand by the fact that I am innocent of these things. You know, it's okay. That's a firm statement that you have the right to make. But when you start going to the hysterics and you start like getting like super like hyper reactive to it, you're just making yourself look bad. You know, guilty consciences tend to be the ones that exacerbate a situation, that go over the top and make these big grand displays and shows of things, and always want to come up with conspiracy theories and, you know, what have you. Why? Because they're trying to victimize yourself. You're trying to like express to the world that I'm the one who's being taken advantage of. I'm the victim. And in a situation when you're accused of victimizing somebody, that's the wrong tone to take. It's an incredibly horrible tone to take on things. Like, if you feel like you're innocent, maintain your innocence. But please, for the love of God, don't try to act like you are like being punished, like the world, the woe is me and all of that. Like, again, I get it in some situations where people are accused of things, like being accused of murder when you didn't do it, and things like that. Black people go through it a lot, where they're accused of committing crimes and transgressions, you know, that are clearly, obviously, like, false. I get it. Sometimes you just, like, your anger supersedes. But you also need to, like, kind of, like, think about it in certain situations, especially, like, in the climate that we are now. Things... I will say this. Like, while I don't think that Jussie Smollett is necessarily innocent of what he did, I think his reaction to his situation is an example where he says, I am innocent, I didn't do these things. He didn't go on a wild tangent, at least from what I could see, where he continually screamed at the top of his lungs and cried, you know, boo-hoo, woe is me. He said he was innocent. He had his lawyers say he was innocent. Things came out and worked to his favor. He came out with like, see, I'm exonerated. I told you I didn't do this. Boom. Walk away. Don't fucking like over exaggerate again like R. Kelly, because that shit is fucking dumb. It's dumb. Like, you're not convincing anybody of your innocence with throwing out all of these like crazy comments and making these grand wild gestures and behaving like a fucking lunatic, like trying to make everybody see how woe is me the situation is for you. Doesn't help at all. Like, seriously, people, there are a lot of ways in which people of certain cultures and backgrounds can be victimized. But you have to, I guess, how can I say this? There is a way to maintain and to claim your innocence without looking like a guilty party. And I think some people don't understand that. Again, R. Kelly's is a prime example. You don't want to be extra hyperbolic about the situation. And you definitely don't want to try to like develop a tone where it's all about how you're the victim and they're not. Because it means that you don't understand your situation to me. You don't understand the gravity of what's going on. You're not paying attention to what's happening to you, and you don't understand that you're feeding your critics. more than anything. Don't play the victim when you're involved in a situation in which you possibly victimize somebody. Again, there's certain tones that you should want to use, and I think it would benefit a lot of people, innocent or not, to do so. But you know, hey, it is what it is. Some people like to put themselves in a position to where they're fucked no matter what. R. Kelly, I'm looking at you. I'm definitely looking at you. But it's wild. Like, yeah, nah, don't do that. Like, you know, play that victim shit. Because even if you end up being exonerated, you end up looking disgusting because you're gonna start that. See, I told you so. Why y'all punishing me? And like, you're just gonna make yourself even less appealing. Like, act accordingly, people. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, as always, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you're thinking. I'll holler at you later. It's your boy Blak Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.